I'm Greg Bellow, and I'm the author of Saul Bellow's Heart. The period of the 1960s and 70s was a time of great change in the United States. And these changes affected my father deeply. My memoir hinges on the changes in my father and the effect of those changes on our relationship. The young man who raised me, I call young Saul. The elder literary patriarch with whom I had to live as an adult, I call old Saul. Having been raised by young Saul, I had a very difficult time living with old Saul. The father-son conflicts that emerged when he became a literary elder and a patriarch in some respects played themselves out over decades. All of a sudden, the father who encouraged me to think for myself now wanted me to think very much the way he thought and to go along with a very different sense of the way in which fathers and sons were to relate to one another than the one I was raised with. He also surrounded himself with some of the most unique and interesting people of the second half of the last 20th century. Famous writers like Arthur Miller and John Steinbeck, intellectuals like Harold Rosenberg and Edward Shills and Alan Bloom. When I was a young lad, my father and Ralph Ellison were very friendly. I mean, I didn't know that Saul was finishing The Adventures of Augie March and Ralph was finishing Invisible Man. We all just went fishing. But those were the kinds of relationships I had with, people who I later found out were monumentally famous authors. And of course, I didn't think about my father as a famous author. I knew he was a famous author, but there was a part of me that always kept that as a distance. In the memoir that I wrote, I really tried to convey the immensely complex, brilliant, contradictory, and deeply human man that my father was. It's quite clear to me that he chose the life of a writer purposely, consciously, because I believe he wanted to write about the depth of human experience.